Hello, everyone. How are you doing? So first up, let me know that this is actually broadcasting. As much as I love technology, I'm always worried that we're not quite broadcasting. So, some hearts, some thumbs up. Hey, well, let's get this started. I want to tell you guys that I have a disease and it's called glitter, and it's deadly. It's deadly to my time. It's deadly to my bank account, and it can be deadly to my business because I don't stay on track. I always have 3 new things that I want to launch. I mean, Jessica can attest to that. We were just chatting about something for 2020. I mean, if this sounds like you guys, if you're always got that glitter syndrome, you're always going after something else, I want you to stay tuned because tonight's show is for you. Welcome to Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs. I'm Mary Fain Brandt, your host. And tonight I have a very special guest, my girl, Jessica Potts from Brand X Consultants. Jessica, say hi to everyone.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here tonight.
I am so excited to have you. We've been chatting up before the show, just catching up and talking about big plans for 2020. But you know what? If you are just starting off launching a business, or maybe you've been in business and you're like, can this business model I have be sustainable? Can I scale it? You are in the right place. And if you know someone who could benefit from hearing Jessica's tips and her experience, go ahead and hit that little share button right there and blast this out because this is a show you've got to see. Also, let me know where you're watching from because you guys, we've built a global network here at Mary Fain Brandt Coaching and Consulting. And I love getting to know where my network, where my audience, where my connectors are watching from and what business you're in because you guys all know one of my top talents is being a connector. I love connecting people, places, and services. So let me know what business you're in. I might have some business for you. And finally, in this episode, Jessica is going to be sharing with us what it takes to launch a successful business and how to sustain that. So that's what the show is about tonight. But you guys know, before we get started, I always like to share where I find my guests from. I don't actually go to the street or scroll online, troll online, whatever you call it, and just look for someone who I think looks interesting. So does anybody want to guess where Jessica and I met? I'll give you like 3 seconds. And if you type it in the comments, I might actually send you a prize. So one of the things with live streaming on LinkedIn and these other platforms using this new technology, you guys, is that we can't see the comments yet. So just know that if I look away, I'm simply trying to look on my phone to see if anyone's commenting. So give me just a minute there. Gotta love technology, right? So you guys, we met on LinkedIn. Go figure, right? And we met through a mutual connection. That's the power of LinkedIn. So it was Lauren Allen that introduced us, right?
Right. Yes. Yes.
She's
I was
fabulous.
actually looking for someone to be on my YouTube channel to talk about LinkedIn, and Lauren brought on the best expert ever. So big kudos to Lauren.
Yeah. So, it's all about, people are always like, LinkedIn, how do I get more clients? And I like to share that, you guys, that's the wrong mindset to have. The clients will come, but think about LinkedIn, how to build your network, how to connect with fabulous people, how to get more podcasts, more speaking gigs, right? There's so much more and all of that really builds up your credibility and visibility, which will lead to more clients. So Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's super late there. It's like 10 o'clock, right?
It is, yes. I'm in Atlanta, so we're on East Coast time. Only you would I do this for you. So
thank you. Did you have 2 cups of coffee today?
I did.
Me too. I did too.
I have like an IV of caffeine right now. No big deal.
Hey, so before we get started, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about your business and how you got started?
Absolutely. So I came from back in corporate America days, and I was launching multi-million-dollar products for some really large brands. And so I started my own company back in 2015. And the idea really was to help mid-sized companies create high ROI marketing. But what I found when I launched was that most of these companies, their marketing was failing. It's because they really just didn't understand who their customers were and what products they really needed to be marketing to to be able to sell to market demand. So they weren't pivoting their businesses with the market. And so I changed and kind of pivoted my business after being in business for a year, which we normally find that we do, and started really meeting these needs. And now I work with entrepreneurs and really helping them understand their customer and product strategy. So what we do is we come in and we do a lot of research on who their target customers are, and then we create and understand like different revenue streams for them. So we can launch different products or services that align with what the market wants right now.
I love that. I think probably one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make, and I think I did this maybe in the beginning, is just assuming that the product or the service that we want to sell and we want to wrap our business around, that of course is just going to work, that we miss the part of doing the market research, right? I think that that's so critical.
Every single time, right? And I will say that's probably the number one thing we don't do. And I always meet, new people who are launching their business and they're really excited. And the first thing they want to do is launch a website. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. We need to make sure that you have customers out there that really want your product, and also, creating your products or services for what their benefits and challenges are.
Right.
So that's really, really key to that.
And to speak to that, I've launched 2 websites already. I've had 2 businesses, 2 websites. It started as True Career Coaching, which I never could wrap my head around because I wasn't aligned with that brand. So when we rebranded, the LinkedIn Bakery, serving up bite-sized tips, that's really more. I was trying to fit myself in a box, and Mary Kane Brandt just can't be fit in a box, okay? There's just too much going on here. But I couldn't wrap my head around that. I couldn't align with it. So for me, part of it was my brand was off. So I think, doing your market research, what is your brand? How do you have a sustainable business if you don't know what your brand is and what you stand for and what your voice is? So that was part of my rebranding. And well, I hope that it's working now. You guys can let me know.
I like to call those your superpower traits that we bring to our business that really makes it unique and it makes it ours, because even in the age of infopreneurs.
Oh, I like that term.
Yes, which is a lot of people are out there like coaches and a lot of these service-based businesses really are just providing information. What the information I provide is going to be completely different than what you provide. And so having those superpower traits, which you've done such a phenomenal job within the bakery aspect. So I love that. I think that you hit it and you hit the target on that.
Thank you. And just so you guys know, I always say the good, the bad, and the ugly. It didn't happen overnight. And I did have to pivot. I have my second set of logos, my second, business name, my second website. So listen to what Jessica has to say, do the homework up front, and save yourself time and money, our 2 most valuable resources, right?
Absolutely. And in entrepreneur world, time is money.
Exactly. So I'm super excited to dive right in. I'm going to monitor some questions. We do have some people on that I wanted to say hi to. Russ Johns, Hugo. I met Hugo at LinkedIn Local San Diego. He's awesome. Maureen Wixon, who is a relationship builder. Who else? So I'll be going through to see who's watching us on LinkedIn, and I'll try to jump over to Facebook as well. Let's dive right into topic 1, which is defining and outlining your long-term vision for your business. And I want to have you explain to everyone, why is this so important?
So when we talk about the long-term vision of our brand, it's essentially what we think about the business in a year or 5 years or 10 years. Do you want this brand to become a legacy, something that you can leave to your children or even generations after that? And so understanding that vision up front helps you start aligning what you're going to be launching long-term. So when I work with my clients about creating the vision, there's a few key components within that. One, I like for them to put both their personal and business in there, because a lot of people are doing this to support their families. And so having that balance of personal and professional is key for your success. And we also talk about your values and your core values and what gets you up in the morning. and gets you going, those all go into your vision. So for me, to give you an example, for me to make a larger impact and to be able to work with more women, one of my long-term visions is doing large speaking engagements. And so now when I am looking at prioritizing my time and my day, when I get asked to do things, if it doesn't align with that long-term vision, I can say no.
I love that. I think that if I just can interject,
Yeah.
I think so many times when we're starting off, and whether you're 2 years, 3 years, 4 years into your business, that's still a new business. Anything under 5 years is you're still hoping, right, that it's sustainable. It's that 5-year mark. And I know that I've done this in the past, and I know there are people right now that I've talked to this past week that are doing it, that you're taking on projects or you're taking on clients that don't align with your long-term goal. And so when that happens, do we get totally off track? Does that, it uses up our resources, our time and our money again, right? When we're taking on projects or clients that aren't the right fit?
Absolutely. We see this, it's not only clients, it's doing a course or buying a course. And those are what I call the shiny object syndrome, or you were calling it glitter earlier, right?
Glitter.
I'm
it's
like
a disease.
Squirrel, the shiny. I'm like, and what happens is that you start doing these courses, or you go through the entrepreneur rabbit hole, and you could be gone for like a couple of weeks up to a couple of months, and you're completely off target, and it doesn't actually align with any of your goals or where you want to go in business, and it just derails us. And so having that vision in front of you and laying that out, you're able to really look at it every single day. So you're like, okay, so I'm not going to do that because that's going to totally take me off the rails, right?
Right.
And then also you're able to say no. Because if someone calls me and asks me to do something, my go-to response is, let me get back to you. Because
so important.
I immediately want to say yes. Immediately. But this gives me a chance to think about it and really see if it aligns with what my long-term goals and vision. And then what I always say back, if I can't do it, is, unfortunately at this time, I don't have the bandwidth to give your project the time that it deserves. And that is a very easy no.
I like it. I use that too. I don't have the bandwidth. I use that a lot. I think that when you're starting off or, you're scaling, you don't want to say no because you're afraid you're going to miss out on an opportunity. But I think what I just heard is understanding what your core values are, understanding what your mission is, understanding what your goals are for this year. Every time someone asks you if you want to be on a podcast or speak at a networking event or take on a client, if you have that posted somewhere and you look over at that and say, does this align with those items? I think it'll help you to say no when you need to say no.
Correct. That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Exactly. And I love that because for one of mine is I'm writing a book, and I had to do some writing courses. And so I did those now so that I could, eventually hit that long-term goal. So those are things that you want to be looking at. But I also want to say this, be open to what the universe sends you, because it may not be packaged the way that you think it's supposed to come in. And therefore it could be a very good opportunity. So before you say no to everything, just make sure that you're really thinking those through.
Right. And that's a good point. So I'm doing LinkedIn Live producing and hosting 13th and 14th. And at first, it's the second time I'm doing it with Jonathan, who now we're partnering up on this. But I was like, I don't know. I have LinkedIn Live access. I think that's why he's reaching out to me again. But you know what? You need to have a core group of people you can talk to, because I can say what I did is I sent a message on Facebook to 3 women that I trust and look up to. And I said, here's how I'm feeling. Is this worth my time? I'm just producing and hosting this LinkedIn Live. Oh, I just said I'm hosting. I didn't use the word producing yet. And my girl, Stephanie Lou, was like, Mary, now you're producing. You're a LinkedIn Live producer. And she changed the words in my head. And I was like, oh, I like that. So that would have been an opportunity that I might have said no to. And I'm so thankful that I'm saying yes to it.
I love that. I think that's a perfect example. You really just don't know how it's going to come through, and the opportunities that you're going to get from those interviews to
I
really
know
help you.
my network is blowing up. I'm getting tagged on LinkedIn, and this could be another service that I offer, being a LinkedIn trainer and expert. Let me produce your live show. I have the tools like what we're using now. I have the knowledge of how it works, So that's just a personal example. I always like to try to share something that I'm going through or something that my guest has gone through, because I think people can relate to that when we share our own personal stories as business owners. So,
and I will say this, like when I launched my business, I did not have my long-term vision. I was like, let's get that website up, right? And I did the same thing you did and had to rebrand, probably a year in or so. And so now I'm like, okay, don't do as I do as I teach.
right.
But it makes a huge difference when I'm able to like really look at that, my vision. And also my vision drives me, it motivates me, because sure. I really do want to make this larger impact on the world. And I get up in the mornings in hopes and inspiration to finally get to that point. It's like, you meet all those overnight successes, stories that have been working for 10 years,
There is no overnight success. I wrote a blog on it, and it said overnight success hardly, because there were a couple people that we have a mutual connection, and they're like, oh yeah, so I'm working with so-and-so. And they said, oh, I want to be like Mary Thane Brent. I'm like, what? They're like, they see you everywhere. I'm like, yeah, they see me everywhere, but it's not an overnight success. And I hate when I see those ads, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or an email, like, how to get $100,000 in less than 6 months. And, in 90 days, you can sign up 10,000 people. I'm like, there is no magic pill. There is no magic copy that takes you from ground zero or ground one up to ground 100, where you're an overnight success. Everyone that claims that they're an overnight success has been working on this for years. Would you agree?
I 100%. When I said that, I was like, an overnight success has been working for 10 years.
Yeah.
You're not seeing grudgingly getting up every morning. It's painstaking. And I'd rather do that and work and meet these people like you that I get to grow my network. It's amazing and wonderful.
I love it. Okay. So we both have had websites. We both launched websites before we really knew what our brand was, and where our target market was. And then we had to rebrand, and we had to pay for new logos and new websites. So don't do what we did. Listen to what we're saying, right?
Yes. And not to mention, like, the couple of months that I've probably that I have gone down the rabbit hole of, I think this is going to be a great, aspect of my business, and really dived head in first, and just to find that it was just a time suck that really just wasn't going to be successful and wasn't good for my business.
And you guys, I want to say that that's okay, because we're all learning as we're growing. So, but maybe just learn to be aware, like, oh crap, I just spent a week looking, at redesigning my website or launching a new service. And wait a minute, let me stop right now, because it doesn't align with my core values. It doesn't support my mission. It doesn't support my vision and my long-term goals. So it's going to happen, but maybe just to be more cognitive of it and be more aware of it, so you can stop it and not spend 2 months on something, and maybe just spend, 2 days, right?
Right. We've all been there. And it's funny because, like, we were just talking about this earlier. We are doing our 2020 planning for all next year, and how we roll out our different products and services, so that we can hit our revenue goals. And we do make sure that the vision is really close in all of that, because we want to be consistent throughout what we do roll out, and that it's for our customers. And we'll get there in a hot second, that it's what our customers want right now, what the market is.
Exactly. Yeah. So we rolled out some new services this year, because not everybody wants. For LinkedIn, I'm a LinkedIn trainer, right? I help you understand how to write on LinkedIn, how to do your content, how to change your profile. Some people, they don't want that. You know what they want? They just want, here's what I do, Mary. I want you to write my profile, create my, the new summary. They want done for you services. So we rolled that out this year to see if that's going to take traction. And I think we're still trying to decide if that's where we want to go, because it's a different style of work for me. Right.
It's hard writing about somebody else, I'm sure, because you're so good at that. Like when I had you on my show and you're just like typing things off, I love that about you.
Aw, thank you. So let's go into our second point here, which is understanding your core values. So I want to share with our audience, like, why is that important, and how does that tie into our brand and our vision, and give us some real life examples.
So core values are those traits that you have within you that really drives and motivates you. So a lot of people think that money is the biggest motivator, but it's really not. And I think even like large corporations are still trying to figure out what is the secret sauce that's going to motivate each person that we have working for them. But you have to figure that out within. So for me, connecting and watching and helping other people are core values for me. Those are the things that I really get excited about and that bring me joy. So I am launching within my business, we do these networking events within Atlanta, and we're launching these in January for executive women who want to launch a business. And so the idea really is to be able to talk to these women and to understand what their challenges and their pain points are, but also have this common group of individuals that can each help each other and grow to that next level. So understanding what your core values are, and there could be all kinds of them. But what I do find is that when I'm working with executive women that are ready to launch their own business, a lot of them come up with me to me and say, I can't leave my company unless I'm making six figures. And I'm like, well, honey, a side hustle is not six figures. But when we sit down and really look at things, one, they don't need six figures, like especially when we're cutting Starbucks and we're cutting cable and all this other, small expenses that you don't really think about. But then when we really start thinking about, we dive into, well, I want to be with my family and I want to be able to travel. I want to have that flexibility. I want to have that freedom. But I also really want to help other people get to this next level. Or I want to, be able to produce garments that really make a difference and be an inventor. So when they start really getting that passion and bringing it out, that is what that driver is. That is what gets them out of the bed in the mornings and motivates them.
It's that why. Why do you want to start a business? And so I think that you're spot on. Like, money is that's just the side. That's just what happens, right? That's not the driving force. The driving force is, I want to help people. I want to inspire women. Like, that is one of my core values, is to inspire other women that they can do whatever it is they want to do. Like, and I was just talking to a friend on the way home today, and it's about finding her voice at work. So, part of my business is being a career coach and helping women find their voice. I want to say, I told her the cojones, like, break those out. Now you got to go in there. You got to have this tough conversation with two men. Here's how it's going to go. We're talking it through, because I want to help women be more confident, find their voice, inspire them to do the things that they didn't think that they can do. So that is part of my core value. The other thing that I really value is time. Don't mess with my time. Some of my close friends know this. Don't mess with Mary's time. You tell me you're going to be somewhere, you best be there. I can make more money, right? I can do all these other things, but I can't make more time. So I think and that is part of my business, right? So having a digital business, an online business, I can control my time. I can be more flexible with my time. So those are some of my core values. So I agree 100%. Money is just what do you say? It just is what happens.
And, money always comes, but we can't also, a lot of people want to launch this business and make six figures the first year. And that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen
the majority of the time. I know, high five over here. And there are a lot of people online that, are saying that they're making six figures, but one, we're not seeing their bank statement. And, two, let's be realistic. If your living expenses are $5,000 or $6,000 a month, and then, you may not be going on vacation that one year, but hell, wouldn't you? I mean, look at the time you got back from not commuting or putting on makeup in the morning. or maybe like me tonight.
Or all
8
the
o'clock, I'm
clothes
like,
that you don't have to buy and the dry cleaning bill. Plus, you get to write off so much of your business. So while you think you have to replace 6 figures, you probably don't. And you're going to have the same lifestyle, like money wise. It's all going to balance out.
But you're also, there's like this level of happiness, right? You know, like you're really doing something you're passionate about, and there is that drive and that focus. And, you know, I'm not saying that you can't launch a business and make money. I launched, I think 3 months in, I was making more than I made in corporate. I got a huge account within my first 3 months. It's feasible. It is possible, but let's speak in a realistic term. Most people don't make 6 figures the first year.
Yeah, it's just reality. You didn't start most people, your first job, you're not making 6 figures, most people. So you're starting a new job, a new career, a new business. It's the same type of model. So I love that.
Absolutely.
Are we ready to get to the big topic that I just can't? This is the juicy topic. So if you guys are watching, you want to take notes, you want to make sure that you're going to watch the replay, customer strategy, product development, marketing strategy, copy, content. Like, this is the juiciness of it. So what does this have to do with having a sustainable business? If you want to talk about how does that all come together?
Okay, so we have our vision plan, right? And we've added our core values in there. We know what's going to motivate us to get up in the morning. But what really is like, who is your customer? So who is that ideal target customer that you are creating services or creating products for? And the problem is that we typically don't know this, and then we don't normally niche down, or we don't know to niche down. And generally when I speak to my clients, when I have a new client, they are very much like, well, I can serve this really large population. I'm like, well, Coca-Cola, I can't even say that they serve everyone, and they have, you know, thousands of products. So the idea really is that with my company, we come in and start interviewing potential customers that they would have. And we ask them an array of questions. And so we ask them what their current challenges and their pain points. We ask, you know, if they found any other solutions to what they're looking for and what would the perfect solution be. We ask them everything from basic demographics to their interests, to, you know, the journey that they've been on from where they want to be to where they want to be. And what this essentially does, just these interviews, is lays out their website copy, because you're able to speak directly to those people through your website.
So wait, let's stop right there. So you guys, we were talking about websites. The first thing everyone wants to do when they launch a business is put up a website.
No, that was me.
And that was me. But if you listen to what Jessica's saying, if you do your market research, okay, so let's talk about creating a website. It's hard. You have to write all that content, right? You have to come up with the content for your website. But if you do what Jessica says and you do your market research, you have your content for your website done for you. Your potential clients are telling you what to put on there to attract more clients. It's brilliant, right?
Well, they're telling you exactly what to say, where to say it, and how to say it. And that's exactly, you hit it right on the head, right? So you start attracting these similar types of clients that have their same challenges. And they feel like you're reading their minds because you're actually using words that they would be using. Now, I have done this. So this is me right here. I have used words that I think my ideal client would use that would never use. They would not, you know, so, and I hear it all the time. Like, I'm like, I don't think that your ideal target customer is talking about basket weaving underwater, you know? And it's like, because you really have to use their language for you to be able to connect with them, and for it to feel like, hey, look, she gets me, she understands me, and to be able to walk them down that journey and show empathy, that you understand that their issue and their problems, and show them that you have the solution.
Exactly. There are few emails that I read from, you know, other business owners there, because I get tons of emails. There are a few that let me rephrase that I get excited to open. So Marissa, she's the Copy Chat 2.0. She's amazing. And when I see an email from her, because I get so excited to open it and see, because it's always a little bit about personal, like what's going on in her life. And then there's that business portion. And she draws me in every time. And I know there's going to be something at the end to join or sign up, but I just can't wait to see what's going on in her life and hear about it because she speaks my language, right?
Yes. Right.
She works with female entrepreneurs.
Yes. And, it's, if your marketing's not working, if your products are not selling, if your website's not converting, it's one problem. And that's because you don't know your customer that well. And I always say there's 7 traits that we really need to understand about our customers.
Ooh.
And I actually took a year and I interviewed top executives at Fortune 100 companies, from customer experience to marketing. And I kept asking them the same questions. What do you know about your customer to have them lined up on launch day for new products? And I took all of that information and broke it down into really the 7 traits you need to understand and know about your customer in order to just be able to write that incredible email copy, to be able to create content that they like, to be able to share those interests. I had a client recently and we found out that a lot of their customers play golf, and it was a marketing company. And we actually did their marketing packages based on golf themed names, and their sales went up because they found that had a common interest within their customer base. So all of these little things that you know about your clients, your future customers, makes your life easier. It allows you to get your time back because you're not spending hours and hours thinking of blog posts or content to be creating. Your website speaking directly to them, so it's going to be high converting. Any types of webinars that you have or products, your products that you're launching, you know that they need it right now, that there's challenges right now, and you're adding features that they need. So everything in your life becomes so much simpler. And I tell you, it's like 25 minutes per call, and do about 6 or 7 of them, and it's pure gold.
I think I might have to redo that. So when launching my course, we did a beta course. So I got a lot of good feedback from the women that were in the beta course, and that has helped with the language for that. So I just want to give some shout outs. Brian joined us. Hey, Brian, what's up? He's going to be on that LinkedIn Live Summit with me next week. Carlos has joined us. Maureen is on here, and Thomas Heath. And Thomas said, no, it's a complete sentence. So no is a complete sentence when you were talking about being able to say no. I love that, Thomas, that you just put it out there that no is a complete sentence and we are allowed to say no. So thank you.
No, I think women are the worst, right? We'll just be volunteering for all kinds of stuff. It's crazy.
I've cut down on the volunteering a lot. and I've also cut down on the speaking to smaller networks. Or not my ideal networks. Maybe that's the right way to word that. Knowing the audience, like I ask more questions about if someone wants me to come speak, because that is my time and time is money. So learning to say no, and does that align with my goals? I want to speak on bigger stages in 2020. Does it make sense to go speak to a lunch and learn that maybe isn't my ideal audience?
I completely agree. And then also, when you know your customer and your customer strategy, that does help you prioritize. Because even when someone comes on my YouTube channel, I'm like, this is our target demographic. These are the people that we are targeting. And if it aligns with your audience, then you should absolutely come on and be a guest. But it's gotta align with your audience. And your goals. If
it doesn't align with your goals, just say no. Thomas says it's a full sentence. Or no, I'm sorry, I don't have the bandwidth right now. Because I don't know about you, I get hit up a lot on LinkedIn for different podcasts and speaking engagements, and some of them are good and some of them are just not the right fit, or people who want to collaborate, which I love to collaborate, but I can't collaborate with everyone. I don't have the bandwidth. That's what I say. I don't have the bandwidth.
You're just so popular, Mary. Just so popular.
I was never popular in high school, so it's cool to be No, I'm not popular. I think it's visibility and credibility, folks. Being out on LinkedIn the way I'm doing it, it's working. So you guys, we've talked about defining and outlining your long-term vision for your business. And I just want to reinforce that you need to do this every year, because that's going to change as you grow as an entrepreneur and business owner. And as your business grows, you might add a new service. You might take one away. We took away, I used to do a monthly LinkedIn lab every month. It was 2 hours. It was like $49, 10 to 14 people in a room. I'm the expert. You work on whatever you're at. I ran those for 2 years, and then they just started dying down. So I made that decision to say no more. And it was the best decision I made. So then I could bring something else in that really serves my audience better. So, really, I think redefine your vision every year and your goals. And then understanding your core values and why they're important to you. And then we talked about the customer strategy and doing your product development, beta tests, asking your clients or past clients, ideal clients, getting on a phone call. I think that's great. And getting those questions that you need so you can write the right copy so that you can attract the ideal clients. It's so important that we don't want to just attract clients. When I work with people on LinkedIn, I'm always like, you want to attract the ideal client, not just any client, right? Let's not waste our time. So you've covered so many great tips tonight. Is there anything else that you want to leave the audience with?
I would say that connecting with your customers as much as possible. And, we see it. I don't know if you ever go to like CVS and they have like that 15-mile receipt that you would get. And it's like,
yes,
call us at 1-800 and give us, I don't believe in going that way, but if you own a retail store, go out there and speak to your customers, get into the store through email people and ask them to email you back, ask them questions and say, hey, please hit reply, email me back. So getting any type of feedback from your customers gives you really good insight on where they're at right now. Because what we do is we tend to like start making money in our business and we get going, but we're not really evolving, and the market is constantly evolving. Our problems, so if you had an Instagram course or whatnot, Instagram always is changing. The algorithms are changing. So understanding what people's current issues with Instagram is going to be helpful when you're adding more features onto your course or whatnot.
So just because you launched something a year ago on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook, we'll talk about the social media platforms, and you know what your clients' pain points were at that time, you should revisit that and say, where are you struggling now? Do you like the new blah, blah, blah on Instagram? Or do you like the new features on LinkedIn? What do you think about those company pages? Are you using them? And so maybe once a year, do some touchback with your past clients and current clients.
Absolutely, because you need to be creating additional revenue streams too. So yes, you can also update those items on like your Instagram course, but you may also find like, oh my gosh, we are struggling to create content. So can you do a workshop to help them create, content that, attracts, connects, and converts, so, thinking of those different revenue, but you're going to only get those revenue streams by really being out there and asking those really hard, those easy questions of, hey, what's your current challenge? Or, anything that, that can give feedback. And I just really like doing the whole email where you send an email and you're just like, hey, what's your biggest challenge? Reply back. And you'd be surprised at the people that reply back.
I love it. I don't think I'm on your email list. I think I need to get on your email list.
Well, you're missing out. So.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not getting your fabulous email. So I definitely need to sign up. So Jessica, where can people connect with you? What platform? How do they reach out? If they want to work with you, learn more about your business, where do they go?
So my website is brandxconsultants.com. You can schedule a time with me. I know that you have the link that you'll add in. If you feel like your business is at that point where you're feeling stuck, or you are ready to go to that next level, what we do is we sit down and look at where you're at now and where you want to be, and create a strategy of what you need to really understand. Or we usually dive into your customer base and then start creating different products or any types of solutions that can create revenue streams for you.
I love it.
So that's on there. And then I definitely have a YouTube channel that, yes, we have a YouTube channel. And essentially I launched the YouTube channel because I spent a lot of time feeling very stuck in my business and doing all this research and getting conflicting answers and not moving the needle forward in my business. And so I launched this YouTube channel and I bring on experts and then I talk about things that I do with my clients that are working currently to help you be able to make educated decisions within your business. So for everything
guys,
from
her YouTube channel is great. And she's in my private group, the LinkedIn Bakery, and she shared an amazing video today about Black Friday specials, Small Business Saturday. So go to her YouTube and find that video. If you do nothing else, go watch that video because it's so smart, just so smart. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, thank you. I know. And don't discount your products or services. So
go watch the video.
Yeah. So I give you alternative ways to be able to cash in on Black Friday without discounting. Because I think I'm a big fan. I don't discount products. Discounting will kill your brand. So, but I explain all that in the video.
Yes. And they can connect with you on LinkedIn, of course.
Yes, Jessica Potts. I'm pretty sure we have that linked. We have that.
We do. Jessica and I, we promise you guys, if you're watching the replay, make sure you do #replay and we will go back in and answer any questions you have, respond on your comments, and we can go back in because we are broadcasting on multiple channels. We'll go back in and put links to all your sites so people can connect with you and answer all your questions. I promise you. So I just am so thankful that you stayed up late to hang out with me and my network and drop all these knowledge bombs on them. And then you mentioned the 7 traits, the 7 tips?
So 7 traits to attract, connect, and convert with your customer. And that is, you can grab that for free. And I just lay all of those 7 down and then explain why you should know them, from basic demographics all the way to like, hey, where's your people hanging out?
Right.
Because they're all on LinkedIn. Why are you spending all your time on Facebook?
Right. How do we get that freebie? Do they go to your website or will we, how do you want them to grab that?
So I have a link that I'll add in that you can just go grab it from. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. So we'll add that in on all the channels because that's the only thing about broadcasting on multiple channels. You have to go to all the channels and add links and updates and stuff. But we will get that covered in the next 24 hours. So, again, Jessica, thank you so much for joining. And all of you that are watching, whether it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, I just want to say thank you and high five for investing in yourself so that you can level up your business. And I just want to share 2 quick things, you guys. If you're one of my job seekers, we have an amazing job seeker course coming out. So stay tuned for that. If you want to be put on the list, just type #job seeker and I will add you to my secret list. And then don't forget to tune in. We have Monday Motivation at 7 a.m. with Mary every Monday morning, giving you just 7 minutes of motivation to get your week started. And what else do we have going on? There's so many good stuff. So many good things coming up. Our next bite-sized tips for busy entrepreneurs will be on November 20th at a special time, 9:30 a.m., which I know Jessica's like, why didn't I have that slot? So sorry. Stephanie Lou is going to be joining us. My girl, Stephanie Lou, you guys know I am her #1 fan. She is the whole reason I have this show. And she's going to be talking about how to monetize and how to monetize your own live show. So stay tuned for that. That event is already up on the Facebook page, so you can find all that information out. And finally, you guys, if you're ready to level up on LinkedIn and find podcast speaking gigs, your ideal clients, I'm here for you. So we can do a strategy session or we can work for 3 months together, one-on-one. It's not group coaching. It's me, you, and LinkedIn getting down and dirty, getting everything set up so we're attracting your ideal clients and filling your pipeline. Let me know. Just type in #LinkedIn tips and I will reach out to you. So Jessica, you're the best. I wish you lived here because we would totally be hanging out, drinking coffee in the morning and wine at night, right? We'd probably have our own mastermind group, go for hikes and walks and just have so much fun. So one of us has to move somewhere. You should move here.
Probably.
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much. You have a great evening and we'll see you online. I just have to move my cursor back over, which has left me. This is what happens. I look like a cat right now. I can't get my cursor back. Oh. Okay, Jessica, you can keep talking if you want. I seriously cannot get my cursor back.
Can you press escape?
Here we go. Because I'm using multiple screens. So, hey guys, thanks. Ciao.